Today on Bridge City News. With just days to go in the provincial election, Premier Notley and UCP leader Jason Kenney continue to trade barbs, with the UCP still leading in the polls. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau rallies the troops at the 2019 Ontario Liberal Party convention. And U.S. President Trump says he is considering a plan to release migrant detainees into Democrat-dominated sanctuary cities.
Your nation. Your province. Your southern Alberta. From the heart of Lethbridge, it's Bridge City News with Paul Arthur.
Good afternoon. I'm Paul Arthur with the weekend edition of Bridge City News. The annual Coaldale Fun Run took place at the Coaldale Christian School today. It was another great turnout with hundreds in attendance. Race director Melanie Harthorn explains what the race is all about.
This year we have about 650 people participate. We've grown over 200% since our inception. This race is for people of all ages and abilities. We have people as young as 3 complete the whole race by themselves, and we've had someone today who was 86 years old who completed the race. We, one year, had 4 generations of people cross the finish line together. The funds raised go to support different community enhancement projects. We try to focus on things that enhance fun, enhance healthy activity, and $2 of every entry also go to support the local Coaldale Food Bank.
I have one kid who is running from Coaldale Christian, so he was my motivation to run. And this is good babysitting too, so the kids are good in the stroller, so it was a lot of fun. And this is a transition for me from hockey to summer sports, so it's a good way to get into running.
It's a fun event, hence the name. The kids all have a great time. This is my youngest here. And it's a nice fundraiser and a community event. So all parts of the community come, old and young, and yeah, just get together and have a nice time running the race, and it's a good event.
It was also a great day to enjoy the tastes of Latin America today, with food and crafts vendors displaying their wares at the 2nd annual Empanada Festival at Lethbridge Exhibition Park.
So today we have different food vendors. We have Babaru Catering, we have Antojitos Latin Cravings, Tacos Made in Mexico, Corazón Salvadoreño. We have other groups like from Peru, Venezuela, and we also have Fruta Fresca, making some delicious smoothies.
It was also a fundraising event with $1 from each admission donated to our Lethbridge food banks. The last Lethbridge members of the Sisters of St. Martha, founders of St. Michael's Hospital, will be retiring to a Nova Scotia convent this summer. The nuns have also faithfully served in our seniors' care facilities for many years and operate the St. Martha's Retreat Center. A number of Lethbridge civic and business leaders want the City of Lethbridge to create a special memorial display to honor their legacy of service. The official request will be made to City Council on Monday at 2:45 p.m., and residents are encouraged to show up to voice their support. With just days until the provincial election, NDP leader Rachel Notley took some shots at Jason Kenney during a campaign rally in Calgary, where the UCP holds a commanding lead so far, and polls showing a 12-point lead province-wide.
Now, I know that Albertans are concerned about the economy and about their futures. The oil price collapse, it hit us hard, and it's been tough on a lot of people. But let's just take a close look at what it is Jason Kenney is offering. Now, he says he's going to create jobs, but he won't. His plan is just too big of a risk. He will hand big corporations a big tax cut. He will kill the rail deal moving our oil. He will add tolls to your roads, and he will cut your overtime pay. That's not a way to create jobs. And even though he says he will build a pipeline, he will stomp his feet, throw a tantrum, and put Trans Mountain at risk.
Jason Kenney made campaign stops in Red Deer and in Edmonton yesterday, and likewise took some swipes at the NDP, who have the lead in Alberta's capital.
Under the NDP, Albertans have been living a jobs crisis for 4 years. Nearly 200,000 Albertans are unemployed. Edmonton has the 3rd highest unemployment of any major Canadian city. 43,000 more people are out of work now than when the NDP came in. 48,000 full-time jobs have been lost in the last 5 months alone. Unemployment has gone up in 8 of the past 10 months to the highest jobless rate outside of Atlantic Canada, and the NDP calls that a recovery.
The pro-abortion group Action Canada for Sexual Health and Rights says it was unacceptable for Greg Ottenbright, a Saskatchewan health minister, to speak at a pro-life rally because it erodes public trust and raises questions about his intentions with the abortion pill mifegamizole. Saskatchewan is one of the only provinces that does not have universal coverage for the drug. According to Health Canada, the pill does carry some risks. In up to 5% of cases, it may not completely terminate a pregnancy, which can warrant surgical intervention. A man who broke a woman's arms with a crowbar in a road rage attack has been found guilty of aggravated assault and a weapons charge. Jared Eliasson was arrested by Edmonton police in 2017 and charged with attempted murder, possession of a dangerous weapon, and aggravated assault. During the trial, the victim told court that she honked at Eliasson for blocking an intersection with his vehicle. She testified that he followed her home and struck her while yelling for her to die. Eliasson's sentencing hearing is set for July 2nd. Nova Scotia is believed to be the first jurisdiction on the continent to pass legislation that presumes consent for organ donation for adults unless they opt out. MLAs passed the Human Organ and Tissue Donation Act as the spring sitting of the legislature ended yesterday. It may not be proclaimed into law for at least a year to allow time for planning. Premier Stephen McNeil says the goal is to ensure that there are more potential organ donors in order to save lives. NDP energy critic Peter Tabuns called it a new low even for Premier Doug Ford, referring to the plan buried in the new Ontario budget to impose fines up to $10,000 per day for gas station operators who don't display provincially mandated stickers about the price of the carbon tax. The sticker shows the federal carbon tax adding 4.4 cents per litre to the price of gas now and rising to 11 cents in 2022. Tabuns accuses Ford of wasting public money on partisan promotion. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau rallied the troops at the 2019 convention of the Liberal Party of Canada in Ontario yesterday. He also took some swipes at federal Conservative leader Andrew Scheer and Premier Doug Ford. Meanwhile, Trudeau and Defense Minister Harjit Sajjan spoke at a Sikh temple in Vancouver this morning before taking in a parade to mark a Sikh holy day. Their visit follows yesterday's announcement that the government is removing a reference to Sikh extremism from a report on terrorism released last year. The Sikh community was upset with the report that listed Sikh extremism as one of the top 5 extremist threats in Canada. The language has been changed to remove any mention of religion. U.S. President Donald Trump is looking to jumpstart energy products such as the Trans-Canada Keystone XL oil pipeline, and he's taking executive action to assert his power. The president has issued a new permit for the stalled pipeline that would carry Alberta crude to refineries on the U.S. Gulf Coast, claiming it's not subject to judicial review. Another executive order states Trump alone has the authority to issue permits for cross-border projects such as Keystone. A third makes it harder for states to block pipelines on the basis of environmental concerns. Donald Trump also says he is sending more troops to the Mexican border and that he's seriously considering a plan to release migrant detainees into sanctuary cities. Trump's advisors have dismissed the idea of using migrants for political retaliation, but Trump told reporters he may follow through on a fringe proposal to release undocumented migrants into cities where local authorities refuse to cooperate with immigration officials.
So we are looking at the possibility, strongly looking at, to be honest with you. California, the governor wants to have a lot of people coming in, refugees coming in, a lot of sanctuary cities, so we'll give them to the sanctuary cities maybe to take care of if that's the way they want it, because we can only hold them under the current law for 20 days.
We welcome immigrants in San Francisco, and the president had his temper tantrum and said he was going to send undocumented immigrants to sanctuary cities. But this is the president's fundamental misunderstanding of immigration. Immigrants built the United States of America. Immigrants made our country great. We didn't need Donald Trump to make it great again. This isn't punishment at all. Immigrants make our community better.
And the world's biggest democratic exercise is continuing this weekend in India. About 900 million people will vote in the general election that carries on for 6 weeks. There are about 4 million electronic voting machines and 1 million polling booths. The sheer size of the country poses a challenge, with officials ruling no voter should have to travel more than 2 kilometers to cast a ballot, whether they live on a Himalayan peak or on an island in the Bay of Bengal. Recapping one of our top stories this hour, with just days to go in the Alberta provincial election, Premier Notley and UCP leader Jason Kenney continue to trade barbs, the UCP still hanging on to a 12-point lead in the polls. And a look at weekend weather, a 30% chance of showers this evening with mainly cloudy skies overnight and a low of 0 for tomorrow. A mix of sun and cloud and a west wind gusting from 40 to 60, along with a high of 11 degrees. The federal carbon tax has sparked much debate in our nation, with some asking whether it actually reduces carbon emissions. Hal Roberts sat down with Robert Murphy from the Fraser Institute to talk about this. That's straight ahead. But first, here's a look at what's happening in and around our community.
Here's your Bridge City News community calendar. If you're looking for a new-to-you bike, come out to the Lethbridge Bike Swap at Exhibition Park's North Pavilion on Saturday, April 27th. Sell, buy, or donate a bike. Admission is $2 for adults, and kids 12 and under are free. Bikes can be dropped off at 9 a.m. Find all kinds of used bikes that are refurbished or can be purchased as is. For more information, visit albertabikeswap.ca. Come for a fun time and help support a worthy cause. The Kidney Foundation Southern Alberta branch is hosting a 3-kilometer and a 6-kilometer walk or run on Saturday, May 11th at Henderson Lake Park. The route is designed for walkers, runners, strollers, and participants with limited mobility. Register individually or as a team by calling 1-866-956-2724 or go online to kidneywalk.ca. And that's your Bridge City News community calendar.